What's going on YouTube? Today I'm taking a look at Zowie's newest addition to their mouse lineup, the U2. This mouse marks a pretty significant change for Zowie as it's their first step into targeting a broader gaming audience besides just the hardcore competitive shooter scene. I want to give a big shout out to Zowie for sending this mouse out to me for review. I think it's really cool that they chose someone like me, a smaller reviewer, to take a look at their mouse. As always, my opinions are entirely my own and they never told me anything to say in the video, so you can trust that everything in this video are my own thoughts. First, let's take a look at the internals. The U2 boasts a Pixar 3395 sensor, and it's Zowie's first mouse that has that new of a sensor. It's also their lightest mouse to date, coming in at 61.3 grams with a little bit of grip tape that I had on earlier. The most striking feature is definitely the unique shape. It's a departure from the typical designs that we've seen for a lot of other symmetrical mice, and there are very, very few comparable mice to this shape. Going over other specs, the U2 rocks Huano switches for the clicks, which is a staple in many other Zowie mice, and it has a max polling rate of 1000 Hertz, which might seem a little bit low in today's market, but it still performs very well. About the sensor, as of making this video, the 3950 sensor has just started to make its way into other mice outside of Razer after their deal with Pixar has ended. It's technically the new industry standard, but honestly the 3395 and the U2 still has great performance like I said. Now moving on to shape, the U2's design, like I said, is very unique. It's marketed towards claw grip users, but as somebody who prefers fingertip grip, I found it surprisingly comfortable in game. My hand size is 19 by 10 and the U2 feels great for large hands fingertipping. The sides are tapered, but not so much so that it gets in the way of fingertipping like the Lamzu Atlantis Mini or the Sora V2. If you do have smaller hands though, I don't think that this is going to be a great mouse for fingertipping. It's definitely a claw or palm grip mouse at that point. Taking a look at the click, scroll, and side buttons, the clicks are snappy, tactile, and spammable. They are definitely lighter than my favorites, the Amron Opticals, but they still provide good feedback. I did notice a bit of mushiness in the right mouse button, but it's not a deal breaker since I don't spam it as much as the left mouse button. The scroll is a bit rattly and loose for my taste, but it still does get the job done. I'll do a little sound test real quick. Now the side buttons on this mouse are insane. They are large, glossy, and they have zero gap in between them, which is perfect for switching between each button like I do a lot playing Fortnite. I know a lot of other people do that too when they play that game, so the design on these side buttons is really, really good. Moving on to the coating, it's not the best, but it does get the job done. If you've got sweaty hands like I do, then you might find it a bit slippery, and it also is a fingerprint magnet. I definitely say get some grip tape if you are gonna buy this mouse, maybe the Cicada Wings from X-Ray Pad. I've been using those a lot on other mice and they are really, really good. Now I'm usually not one to rave about the stock skates, but I was super impressed by these stock skates. They are made of Teflon and they're superb on glass or any other hard pad like the NPET Tech resin pad if you break them in. However, if you do use them on a cloth pad, they might be a little bit sluggish, so keep that in mind if you do prefer cloth pads over hard pads. The performance of the U2 is good for a 1K Hertz mouse. The sensor is responsive and overall the mouse felt fine to use. It's not as responsive as say an OP1 8K or a Sora V2 in competitive mode, but I did find it to be much better than my X2H from Pulsar at the same polling rate. Spoiler alert for that mouse, I did not find it impressive at all. Finally, for the rating, I'm gonna give the Zowie U2 a solid 4 out of 5, and it joins the coveted group of certified goated mice. There are definitely a few areas where it could improve, like the scroll wheel, the polling rate, and the coating, but overall it's a stellar mouse and I'm very glad that Zowie made the design choices that they did. So that about wraps it up for my review of the Zowie U2. I tried to take a little bit of a different approach in this video and made it a lot shorter and more straight to the point. So let me know if you like my older style of videos where they're a little bit longer and more conversational than this one. Next up on the channel, I'll be taking a closer look at the S Prime PM1. It's a mouse with a shape similar to the Logitech G703, but with the same internals as the Sora V2. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more reviews, and also follow me on Twitter for more posts about peripherals and my opinions on them. I'll link that in the description. And yeah, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, we can fuck little mama, I can lip lock.